Hey guys!
Hey there, beautiful people.
Welcome to our other, means of media.
Yeah, there's no stopping this one. No stopping it. Yeah, I'm blaming you. I can't blame myself.
Welcome to the Little of This, Little of That YouTube channel. I was going to say
now.
podcast,
Yeah.
but it's a YouTube channel now.
Yeah, it'll be part of the podcast. We'll probably record the podcast on YouTube.
Yeah.
From here on out. But this is just a little intro. Can I give you guys an idea of what's going on for 2019? We've been gone for a few weeks due to Christmas and New Year's and all the mayhem that goes with that. And Colleen's been pretending to be sick, so we've just been mad busy. Mad busy.
I needed I need some time off.
Yeah.
Hell no. If you've had the flu, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't skip those shots anymore. I will not be, because I was on my deathbed. I literally never been so sick in my life.
And I'm not going to say anything, because the minute I do, I'll get sick.
But yeah, we got a little caught up in the holiday hoopla, and again, the sickness. So we're back, full force, ready to go. So we first want to let you guys know that we have a 2019 intentions. We're not calling them resolutions. We're calling them intentions, because it always seems to fade when you say you have resolutions.
Yeah.
So our first one being our every day of journaling, but it's a little different. It's kind of a guided journaling. Yeah. And why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about that? Thanks.
So a buddy of mine, Josh, challenged me to journaling. He was going to do it, and he basically challenged me and a bunch of other buddies to do this journal daily, and it's called The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday. And basically what it is, it's an interpretation, or I guess it's an interpretation, 366 meditations on wisdom, perseverance, and the art of living. And it's translations of quotes by Seneca and Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, different Stoics of their time. So that the art of Stoicism I guess it's making somewhat of a resurgence, but it was a dead art there for a while. So yeah, we're gonna start working on this, the Daily Stoic. So what happens in here is basically every day there is a meditation, and then there's a description or a synopsis of each meditation that gives you a little bit of an idea on how to approach your journaling. So that's the actual book itself, and then we have the Daily Stoic Journal. Yes. So it's the accompanying book that goes with it. And what happens here is every week there's a theme, and within each week there's a question for each day. And then with that question there's a morning and an evening reflection. So let's give an example of today's question. So today's question was January 6th, and it's really cool because it actually gives you the actual date, which is cool, instead of just saying Monday, Tuesday, or just morning and evening. So January 6th, who am I and what do I stand for? So it's these deep questions that force you to kind of think about who you are. It's all the questions so far. I've done it since Christmas Day, so I'm 10 or 11 days in.
It's not a contest, Michael. I started mine like 3 days ago.
We're all going to end up with 366 days. So, in case of a leap year. But, yeah, the whole idea is to go a little bit more introspective and think about your purpose in life and what it is that you're, like, what's your trek? What are you doing? Why are you going in this direction? And how can you look within to see what you can give to the rest of the world. It's pretty cool. Yeah, super enlightening. I look forward to doing it every day and night. Yeah. And it's something that I've always kind of wanted to do, but never got around to doing it. But this gives me the structure, and I have the accountability, since both of us are doing it, and then I have a bunch of friends that are doing it as well. So we have that accountability that will. I don't want to be the one to drop off, you know.
I've already noticed a difference. I've never been really a journaler, or I've never done it really. I know a lot of people that like to do that. And I've always thought of bullet journaling, but I just think it's too much for me. So this is really neat. And even the morning and evening, I thought, oh God, morning and evening, like reflection, like seriously. But honestly, it's been really great, because I wake up and it's nice to have that thought in my head, and I may not write it down right away because I have shit I have to do. But, you know, to have a minute to sit down and kind of like reflect on what that question was, and then thinking, how is this going to be different by the end of the day? Like, why would I do an evening one? And it totally can be different. And
Yeah,
it's,
big time.
because you're also mulling it over in your head as the day goes on, and then you become a little bit clearer in your, you know, your reflection, which is interesting. So I like that a lot. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, like so many other questions. I don't know. They're just questions that we don't ask ourselves. We just kind of go through life without thinking about these things, and I think it's awesome to ask ourselves these questions and figure out who we really are. Like yesterday was, what is my purpose in life? Like who sits and ponders that? There's not too many people that I know that would sit around and ponder those kinds of questions. So these are the types of things that Stoics do. Am I seeing clearly, acting generously, accepting what I can't change? What can I say no to so I can say yes to what matters? So this one hit home for me big time, because I kind of added up the hours of how much I watched soccer over the course of a week, and it got like it was close to 9 hours between reading news about it and then actually watching games. Like that's 9 hours of out of my 168 hours a week.
We don't complain about it for no reason.
But I'm wasting that time. Like that's not really that important.
No, yeah, I get you.
Like yeah, it's good to have some downtime and watch what you love, but there's so many other things I could be doing. Spending time with the kids. I could be working on a new certification or
helping me with something.
You don't need help. But yeah, that was massive for me. Like just excess time on social media. Like and I'm sure everybody's heard this at some point, that it's taken away from the quality of conversation and relationships that you have with people, because we're so ingrained in our social media nowadays. Saying the dude talking on YouTube.
I was just gonna say that. I was like, but we're talking.
Yeah, but we're still we're at least we're in the moment and focused on what we're doing.
We want you to take time away from your life to watch us.
Yeah. You might learn something. This might inspire you to do something big. Like, what am I learning and studying for? What things are truly in my control? So those types of questions are questions that force you to think about what it is that you're doing in your life, and are the things that you're doing important, and are they congruent with the purpose in your life? I think it's kind of cool. It's been awesome so far, and I look forward to seeing what we get out of it at the end.
It's gonna be it's gonna be neat, especially with the fact that we have some super big intentions for this year.
Yeah, so we have the usual smaller intentions of like not being on social media as much and
eating healthier and doing more activity, and at least for me,
the usual.
Yes,
the usual malarkey.
The big one is that if you want to rent Becky the RV, you better get it in this year, because we are planning on moving into the RV by the end of a year. Around a year.
By about this time next year?
Yes. So,
we might be living in this. Yeah. Yeah,
really
what you're thinking is exactly what I was thinking. She's crazy. Yeah, it's
We have a lot. We have a plan. I feel like we have a plan.
Yeah. Pretty convincing.
We want to buy my father's house, which we are living in at the moment, and for good reason, not just because our name is nowhere listed on that house. So if anything were to happen to him, we're kind of like in the RV on our butts anyways. So this is really great for him to have that stress off, and for us to have that stress off as well. And fixing up the house to make it a really good, sellable house, so that we can sell it and make some good money off of it. And then to downsize all of our belongings. So for the next year, we will be minimizing, which we have been doing the past few years. We kind of went along with that minimalism kind of life, which is very hard when you have a house, because you want to fill it with things. And it's part of the reason why we want to get away, is because we just don't want to buy things all the time, just because. So it's another one. We're already starting that process. So getting rid of things that we will no longer, we don't need a couch and we don't need a chair. We do now, but we will not when we move into the RV. We won't need a TV because we have one here already. We won't need family, heirlooms, such as a desk that belongs to my family. so another family member will have to take that, or a baker's cabinet will need to go to another family member because it can't go in here. So, and things like that. And then telling the kids, like, hey, this is your basket, and whatever fits in this basket for toys and what you want to bring is what you get to bring. That is it.
Imagine hearing that as a kid.
Especially after Christmas.
Oh, good God.
Especially after, like, receiving all these gifts.
Yeah. Terrible.
So, we also
lollipops for their birthday.
We have a video and a podcast of the kids telling their side of how they feel about this whole year of getting ready to live in the RV, and it's really cute, and you guys have to make sure you watch and listen to that because it's just too freaking cute.
It is.
And they're really good about it, though. They're really good about it. I will say it took a minute, though, because when we told them about it, it was a little sketchy. Like, what? And that
was the same reaction I had when
we will,
so it's okay.
And we will be homeschooling, so that's another thing too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a whole other, which is not completely foreign to us because we have homeschooled for a semester.
Yeah.
At one time.
4 years ago.
Yeah, we're in a different place now too, so it's going to be completely different. And hearing what they have to say about that, and hearing about how they have to, living in close quarters together, living on the road, and
how they feel about homeschool. And do they think we're crazy?
Yes. Oh,
just some different bits and pieces there. So it's it's pretty interesting to say the least. So that's all the what. Now let's talk about the why.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this, Colleen?
This is always on me. I don't get it.
She mentioned this about 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And
I think I've mentioned it way before then. I think I got more serious though.
Yeah. Because Colleen tends to have some crazy ideas that pop into her head every now and then, and I just kind of, okay, honey. But this one...
But he does them.
Yeah. I'll follow along anyway. But this one, when she first mentioned it, it was, I was like, she's lost it. She's lost it.
He really did. He
must
was
be
like,
the
are you
meds.
freaking serious?
Yeah. But the more I thought about it, I was like, this will be a phenomenal adventure. This would be a phenomenal experience.
Why did you think I was crazy at first? Were you thinking those things of like, but what about
where are the kids going to go to school and
where are we going to live and like what we're just going to go the whole time? Right?
Are we going to just stay in an RV park the whole time? Are we going to travel? Like all these different logistical things that we need to do in order to make sure this all pans out is a little scary.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. Initially, it was like there's no way, and then all 5 of us living in what's the square footage?
And 2 dogs.
And 2 dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So like the square footage with the
slide outs.
With the slide outs can't be any more than like 150 square feet.
Yeah, it's small. It's smaller than our first Dogtown house.
It's smaller than Dogtown upstairs.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. If you think about it, so if you take out the cab, it's like 6 feet. So you're talking 26 feet from here to the back, and then 8 feet wide. So 200 square feet. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like for 5 people to live in. So,
but
that was
what we lose room for inside, we make up for outside.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be
outside a lot.
We'll be outside all the time.
Which I think is a really cool thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Like reconnecting, like, and learning. I mean, well, it's just being together a lot. Like, we're going to be together a lot. We're going to be in very close quarters together, and we're going to be schooling together, and we're going to be doing things. So we're going to essentially become closer as a family.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's going to be hard, no joke. I mean, like, we're not naive. Like, we know it's going to be. There's going to be tough times, especially if something happens with the RV that breaks down. Like, that's also going to be a thing. But there are places to rent. There, like, we don't have to be in the RV all the time if we have to or we want to. Like, in Breckenridge, Colorado, there's an amazing RV park that have tiny homes that you can stay in if you need. So if we wanted to just be stable, if we wanted to be, like, not rocking and rolling the whole time, we could always, rent a furnished, little house for a while or something and stay in Colorado for a while. Who would? Or Alaska.
Yeah.
You were saying before.
That's
You know.
But part of the way, like you think of what we're told our whole life is you have to go to school and get an education so you can make money and get an education so you can get a good job to make money so you can have a house and a car and all stuff and things and toys and all that.
Right.
And that's just
more stuff.
That's just the cycle of. It seems like every generation just does the same thing. They go to school and they get a job and they make money and build up debt and try to get rid of that debt, and it's just a cycle after cycle after cycle. Yeah. And we thought about it and that we don't want to be part of that cycle. It's not that we want to disassociate from society, but we don't want to show our kids this is what you do, this is how you do it, this is the only way. We want to show them, hey, look, here's a different way of doing it. Here's a different way of living.
Because everyone knows that we did not.
Yeah,
we have never gone by the book.
We did things backwards, for sure.
We have done everything differently, and why not? Why wouldn't we just throw this in there too?
Yeah.
But it's I hate that I never want to, and I don't mean to, but I still do end up going, oh well, that's a trend. I kind of like that, you know, like I might want to buy that. I think I should have that, you know, like even though I know that that's not who I am and I don't need that and I don't really want it, but I get caught up in it, and the next thing I know, I'm like, oh my god, I like really want it. I really want this. Like I think we should get this, and it's because it's a name or because everybody has it or because everybody's doing it, and I don't like getting caught up in that. I hate that. And I find that even with this house that we have that is not that large, I still I tend to fill it up with things, which then causes me then to have to purge. And then and go back to that minimal thinking again. But I do, and it happens. And when...
Just that materialistic consumerism, just always want stuff to fill the gap inside.
Right. Oh my god, it just knows me so well. But yeah, that's part of like what happens, and I don't want that. I feel like we can do that. I think we can get away from that if we live in the RV and we experience what we already have, which is family and love and the world, and essentially. I mean, we can be perfectly fine and happy.
And we can show the kids that life isn't about just consuming things.
Yes.
That's not how we find happiness, because that's the ultimate goal of everybody in life, is to be happy. And what we're taught over the course of life is things make us happy, and we want to teach them that it's not about things, it's not about stuff,
and you don't have to do it by the book.
Yeah, it's about experiences, and it's about how you can find yourself, and that's not by stuff. Like even the other day, just like with the education thing, people are like, oh, you're going to homeschool, that's crazy. Why are you going to homeschool? What are you going to do? And we have a plan. We have things that we'll use. This Mind Up program that we've studied and researched a little bit.
It's got a great curriculum, and we've learned a lot from the zoo school as well.
And it's going to be more about discovery, but it's not about just teaching the kids how to think, because that's all the education system does. It teaches us how to think. And thinking, I don't know about you, but thinking gets me in trouble.
Thinking usually leads me to big ideas like this.
Yeah. But we have so many thoughts over the course of a day. We don't know how to not think. I think that's one of the biggest issues. I think that's one of the biggest issues that with society in general, that we don't know how to stop thinking, and that's what causes a lot of societal issues. We just think way too much, and that's what we're driven to do, and that's part of what leads us to the consumerism and the materialism and all those different things that we're told leads us to happiness, but really isn't.
And we are not bashing our school district. We're not bashing what everyone else does, and you know what job you have, your career choice, your education choice, all that.
To each their own.
Exactly. This is just our route. This is our route, and we want to share it with you guys, and they can be fun. You know, see what happens. You know, we'll be your little guinea pig. That's fine.
I know people out there are gonna be looking at it and going, "New age hippie they'll change their names to Flower, and it's just.
My name is. No, I'm not going.
Snow.
Somebody could have that. Somebody could be named that. I mean, me. No.
Yeah. But it's something that this is a choice. We're not being forced into this. We're not like we're so broke that we have to move into the RV. It's just this is a choice. We want to experience something new. We want to do something that most people don't do. I don't know anybody that has has a perfectly good job and makes enough money to live in a house and have stuff, and then decides to just dump it all.
I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen this Living Mortgage Free on Netflix, but it has changed my life. I mean, it really is, like, it's just, you know, seeing people that have actually, you know, kind of taken this route a bit more of maybe not necessarily RVing, but with building their own houses by getting out of debt before they're 30 or, you know, by they're 25 or all these things, and being able to live, you know, without having to pay a mortgage or any of that. So, I mean, when we essentially look at it, we will be able to be pretty much debt-free and not having to pay a lot of crap that we have to work for. I'm just tired of working to pay these bills that I really, like, you know, I don't want to have to just, I don't want to have to keep on working and making sure we have money so that we can pay for the house and pay for the water and pay for the gas and pay for the electricity and then pay for the trash and the whatever.
Property taxes.
And property taxes and all that. It would just be nice to be able to say, I'm done with that. I'm done with that. I want to, let's sell it. Let's get rid of it. Let's just pay for what we, you know, like whatever we have left on this RV. And we will, I mean, all we need is water, which you can get anywhere. And we're going to need propane. We're going to need propane, which is really not that expensive and that lasts for a long time.
Yeah.
And wherever we park. And a lot of times, with the government shutdown right now, we can park anywhere we want. And not be charged.
Nice.
Making a positive of something, you know. And so, there's ideas. There are definitely reasons and what we're doing. And hopefully we're not, you know, we could be making a big mistake, but at least we know. At least we're doing it, and we'll be like, well, we tried. Oops. You know, like,
I've got to go.
Exactly.
I like the great philosopher Jim Carrey said.
He is, though.
Now he's, but he said he wishes everybody could be rich and famous and have all the things, just so they could realize that's not the point. And we're obviously not rich and famous, but we realize that it's not the point.
We're done.
We want to just live that life of freedom.
Yeah.
That's it. We don't want anything to tie us down.
So yeah. That's it.
Yeah. I think that's where we're at.
Welcome to the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Little this, little that. We'll still talk about just random shit. But this is kind of our journey. This is where we're going, and this is what we're doing, and our plan. And we're going to try and do this every other week. And we'll have our Little This, Little That podcast still, which is on the Anchor FM app, or Breaker, or Spotify, or Google Podcasts, and iTunes. You can find it in a lot of different places. But you can listen, and it's a little bit more in depth, and be able to talk a little bit differently. Excuse me. It's that flu. Still got me. So, yeah. If you have any questions, let us know. Comments, we love to hear them.
Yeah, please send them on lotlotpod@gmail.com.
Yes.
And you can leave any messages or descriptions below. Subscribe to us, and watch out for videos that we have coming. We'll, like Colleen said, we'll do them every couple of weeks. So we'll do one probably next week, and so we'll do one in the middle of the month and the start of the month, or middle of the month, end of the month.
We just catch up.
So yeah, if you have any topics that you'd like us to talk about, and we're gonna reach out and bring people on to share their experiences and expertise, and
would love to find some full-time RVers.
Stuff.
Be awesome.
Yeah.
To have on. And yeah, I was gonna say something else and I lost it. It happens a lot.
Because I'm always interrupted.
But yeah, thanks for watching. And if you want to know more about us, go to our podcast. We have a lot of previous podcasts that we've done. It tells us a lot. It tells you a lot about us if you're new to us. So
There it is.
thanks a lot, guys.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
And set your intentions. Peace and love.